Well, before the Duster moves on to the winter and the new owner, there are a few things that I want to address on this thing. Either dial up a little bit or just make more good or it's better. Things like redoing the inside of the trunk, setting the winter up with a spare tire and wheel. We got a big beefy drive shaft for this thing, which ultimately leads to violent burnouts here, hopefully. We got front tires that are pushed too far back and they're binding up here in the splash guards. We got to fix that, and we're going to do that with QA1 adjustable strut rods and some sort of homemade string alignment. That should be fine. Well, let's get started. All right, fellers and fellettes, just heard from our law firm. A random winner has been chosen and verified for the Plymouth Duster. We're going to give them a call here in just a second. The winner is Charles R. from Tennessee. He's from Tennessee. Charles R. from Tennessee. You just won a one-of-a-kind Plymouth Duster. Let's give him a ring. See if this feller picks up.
Hello?
Hi, is this Charles?
This is he.
Hey Charles, this is a guy from Vice Grip Garage. How you doing?
Is this Derek?
This is Derek.
How are you doing, man?
I'm calling to congratulate you on winning the 1973 Plymouth Duster.
Awesome.
How's it feel, man?
That is awesome.
I'm happy for you.
Oh,
What? I'm just curious. What'd you pick up?
I got a pair of sunglasses and an Independence t-shirt.
I love it. Well, congratulations, man. It's a one-of-a-kind car. I know you're going to love the thing. It's an absolute animal. It's a head turner. And thanks so much for, supporting the channel by grabbing yourself some merchandise. Well, there you go. Charles is the winner. Super awesome guy. I'm really excited for him. We made some arrangements here to get together after the holidays to get him the Duster, and we'll make sure that you watch him driving away in that thing. He said he's going to boil the tires off. Yes! I think a guy's gonna start back here in the boot. Get this done so the paint dries and all that stuff. It's also how you properly procrastinate. You wanna do the easy stuff first. Someone's house key is on here. I don't know whose, but I don't think that goes with the car. Okay, Mopar, that should be the wrong looking key and upside down. Yep. Okay, I should probably put these in my pocket. Yeah, we can make this look a little better. Do you remember what it looks like? Get in here. So this is the situation back here. We got this the kind of economy mat laid down, but see how it's starting to rust under it and stuff? We're not gonna make this, it's not a show car, right? I wanna get all this stuff vacuumed up, cleaned. We'll wire wheel the rust. We'll put some rust treatment in. We're gonna paint it, and then we could drop a spare in it when it dries. I normally don't even mess with this back here, but the engine looks awesome. We dolled up the exterior. The interior looks great. And then there's just this. That doesn't really seem fair. So let's go ahead and get this all cleaned up. I'm just going to start by taking all the junk out, throwing away everything that doesn't need to be in here. And we'll start vacuuming. Yep. Ah. Oh, there's where that went. Need it. Perfect. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? What's in here? Sure, don't need that. Nope. Oh wait, these are full. Yep, 2050. I'm back. What else do we got? What's in here? Don't need wasp and hornet spray. Bunch of miscellaneous, a bunch of weird looking hardware. Looks like someone hit that with an impact. Wasn't me. Got some sort of jack. I think we will put this back in the car. I'll set it over here for now. On some sort of miscellaneous dirt bike tire. The parts pile is building, guys. We got to get after some projects, I'll tell you that much. A trailer hitch. I don't think I need one of those currently. And some spare seat belts. Get the mouse sucker fired up here. Why does it sound normal? Well, I guess it's got a little pull on her yet. little bit of a hole in here. I don't know. Maybe we just pretend we didn't see that, you know. I'll let you look at it. You can tell me what you think. Is this even going to hold a spare tire? Okay. Crunchy. Kind of like an Applebee's steak. Okay. Boy, my back is really acting up. Again. Oof. Oof da. Well, the guy's got her fairly cleanish, but the thing is, the guy's gonna have to swing back around again and clean it again, because I'm gonna get in here with the cheek poker, see if I can stab a few in my neck, maybe a retina, we don't know yet, and clean up some of the surface rust and get all that out, and then we'll, you know, actually prep it for some paint of some kind. Now this is, I don't know what to do here. It's fairly thin. When I say thin, that means there's daylight down there. I do have an idea once we clean it up to keep the water out, at least, or a bulk of the water. But overall goal is just to slow down the surface rust in here and make it look a little bit nicer. Doesn't need to be perfect. And then we'll go ahead and drop a spare in here, because Charles was saying he might try to daily this thing a little bit. And I got to get him a spare tire. We're going full corded on this operation so we could really get some torque, you know, when these start flying off into the cheeks. And I found this at the store. This must be new. It's a mask. And it covers your nose and your mouth, and I guess it filters things like rust particles and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on. Now, if they only figure out how to protect your eyes somehow, that'd be pretty good, I think, you know. Let's dig in. It's like a switch. Okay, almost got it done. Nope, be here for 5 hours. Can't see nothing. Hello, my old friend. Nice to see you again. Oh boy, we made some Swiss cheese now. I was afraid of this happening. I told you. Okay. Yep. All right. Yep. 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 Okay. Sure. Why not? A little bit over there. All right. Looks brand new. No, it's pretty bad actually. Well, with the surface rust removed, we have, well, we made it worse. That's perfect. You know, that's what we're after. So we're gonna have to address this. I got an idea, it's a temporary fix, but first I need to treat this rust. Slow it down, I gotta go find this can I use. We'll soak all this up, start let it drying here. Got a bunch of different stuff here, but we need to start with this guy. It's called Rust Fix. You guys have seen me use this stuff. Goes on clear. When it dries, it turns black, and it does something chemically to rust to stop it, or at least slow it way down. And that's our whole goal here, with a little bit of, can it look slightly, completely brand new? Yeah, we're on the same page. Kind of like Mozart. Or wait, he wasn't a painter. Vince Lombardi. I think he made cheese. I don't know. Insert famous painter guy. That's what we're doing. Okay. You see it's already turning black. Some areas down here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We got cloggage. Ran the air compressor through the nozzle and we're back. This should probably sit up in like 20 minutes or so. And then we can move on to phase 7. I don't know what 2 through 6 is yet. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I got an idea. Pass some time. Only the best. No, this was the cheapest ones at the store, but we got to throw some floor mats in here. Guys' hooves are already getting the floors dirty. We can't have that. Really awkward feeling. I don't even know how to open floor mats. When's the last time we ever done this? Am I doing this right? I don't know. Okay. These are probably the same because they're all cheapos. Oh, this one's got a heel pad. Ooh, snazzy. Okay. Boom. We got the Bluetooth charger working in here, or whatever they are for the cellular devices. Cam card, gotta have that. Okay. Boom. Wonder if I can get it all from this side because I'm lazy. Oh, I think so. Huh. There we go. Next. Boy, she's looking super snazzy now. They match pretty good, actually. Really surprised. Now we're going to move on to this rusty metal primer. Sure. Use on heavily rusted metal for the ultimate finish. Yeah, that's what we need. It's the wrong color, but I just want to seal up this rust before we put something over top of it. Yes, indeed. One way too heavy coat of that. Guys, assuming that's going to dry flat or something. I guess it doesn't really matter. We're going to come over this again with a color that's closer to the trunk paint I'm going to use. Now, I would have had really liked to have found some of that aqua color, but I couldn't. And when I say aqua, it's kind of like that color. Well, actually, now that I'm looking, that's black and gray. Never mind. We're right on target. I did find, out of 7,400 stores and 96 million square miles, gray with black speckle, I think. That's what we're going to use. It's actual trunk paint. It's really durable. It doesn't chip as easy as normal paint. So after this is dry, I think I'm going to put down some gray primer and then that trunk paint because I don't have a lot of it and I want to cover this whole area if possible. Got to throw some Weeper Blades back on here. I did find the original ones, so we're going to go ahead and just rattle can restore those too. I think a guy could still get some more out of these Blades. I mean, there's something left there. Okay, so I'm going to scuff these up probably with some 400. 1,000, that'll work. Close enough to 400. What is this? Hey, 400. So I am going to scuff them up with some 400 here. And then we'll be able to get some paint adhesions going on. Scuffing. Well, I went back and forth between black and chrome, stainless, metallic, silverish, black chrome. And decided on trying to do some sort of chromish. And went ahead and blasted them. They look pretty good, actually. The model car guys said when I was doing the Studebaker hubcaps, I should hit them with black first, then the chrome paint, and that's what I did. I don't know that I really saw a huge difference, but they look pretty good. So we'll throw some new Blades on and snip them on quick. All right. I think they're decent-ish. Yep. It's crazy how expensive wiper blades have gotten. When's the last time you bought a pair? You'll go without them. That's what I'm saying. Did I get a fingerprint? Okay, they're apparently not quite 100% dry. Got us a fingerprint. Do I need to start all the way over? Probably, because, you know, SEMA. Guess these will dry overnight. I gotta try to hide the blades. I'm just gonna real quick. It is pretty cold in here. We could go check the temperature if you want. I got heat in here, but I don't really run it because it's expensive. It's really expensive. Both them heaters turn on, the yard lights for 3 miles flicker. The guys in town go, oh, Derek's home. There we go. Oh, it's warming up. Heat wave. 57 degrees in here. It's pretty good. Okay, so now we're ready to put brand new sheet metal on this trunk. And by brand new sheet metal, I mean this metal. This just isn't no cheap tape now. This is thick, insulated tape. And it's got a sticky back, of course. So we're going to use this to coat or layer the bottom of this first, and then we'll spackle over top of it. We won't be able to see any of this because we're going to get a spare tire in here, but try to plug this up as best we can. So let's measure this up. What do we got? What do we got here? What's the number? Are you looking at it? What do we got? 27. Well, but wait now. We got to do the construction band. 26? No, we call it 25. Okay, bring her down. 25 inches. You paying attention? Okay. What do we got that's round and 25 inches? Oh, that doesn't seem right. That should be 15. Need some string or some rope or something. Well, I cut a bunch of sheets out. We're about 25 inches this way. Found the center. And if shop class in 6th grade did me right, I should be able to hold this and swing this marker around and draw us up a shape that's pretty close to what we need. Well, I mean, it ain't perfect, but here we are. You know, things moved around a little bit. I don't know if it's exactly a circle anymore. It's like a pyrogram angle. Trapezoid square-ish shape. Goose egg, we'll call it. Anywho's, you could tell that I really care about this rig because normally patching something like this, I would have just, you know, taken some license plates and slammed them on the floor and used 2 bottles of spray foam and called it good. But now here we are. We're doing this. Let's see if we can get this in. Okay. It's like a puzzle that makes no sense. Perfect. Which side comes off? Okay, this side comes off. Is that right? It doesn't feel sticky. Or does this side come off? Surely it's got to be stickier than that. How do you... First of all, who's Shirley? Second of all, how do you get this off? Is this it? Is this as sticky as it gets? Must be junk. Can't get nothing good anymore. Okay. That was a success, I guess. Maybe it gets stickier the longer it sits. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, moving on. Next one. Slight overlay. Man,
tell you what. I'm gonna start doing this on everything. Welding. Bzzz, bzz, bzz, bzz. Hey, Billy, turn the heat up. Bzz. Oh, it's great. Bzz. Welding, welding. Okay, this is starting to become too much work. Rule of thumb, if you bend over 4 times in the same project, you're doing it wrong. Start something else. Okay. The old backlighter's starting to burn. Hindsight, we should have went 27. I was trying to tell you guys. No one would listen. Had to be 25. Well, it is not perfect, and that is perfect. Had to cut a couple small pieces, patch some other holes. Looks like the side of a moon rover. Should be fine. Warranty not included. Okay, so now we can move on to some paint. I kind of just misted. See what we got going on. I got to shake it up a little bit more. We'll start laying it in, and hopefully it's going to cover this stuff and not just slick right off. Never used this brand before. I'm used to them being a lot thicker. Not saying this won't work, but it's looking like it's going to have to be a lot of thin coats to even get that look. And it's kind of just really silver. Not much black. I'm going to play around with this for a little bit, see what I can come up with. No. This is unacceptable. I ain't going to have it. We're pivoting. We got to switch gears now. Gonna go with this stuff. I've used this for 49 years. It's a Canon. It'll blast all this in one can easily. Downside is it's going to take 47 months to dry before we can throw a tire in here. Give me 2 seconds. Bam, we'll be back. Yep. You're right, that does look better. It looks a lot better, but we're not done. I'm going to make my own trunk paint. You know what I mean? I ain't got to buy this stuff in the can. We'll figure it out. I really wanted like a turquoise, bluish, retro kind of trunk splatter paint. You know what I'm talking about. Mid 60s, early 70s, it just looked really good. So we got this black base. Got an idea. We're going to make her happen. We've done it before. It's been a while. I'm going to try it again. We need some supplies. All right. Now we got some paint buckets. You're going to want to find the shiniest vehicle you own, or like a computer or something. And that's where you want to fill this. So all the overspray, you know, either goes in your face like this or right next to your car. See what I'm saying? Okay, we're going to get some paint in here. This might take a while. Yep. Sure. Yep. Oh, I got stuck. That was weird. Okay, now we're going to take a brush, go back to the car. Now, dip the brush in and splatter. To your desired effect. I'm going to go a little more. There we go. A little over here. Oh, got big blob there. My bad. It's all right. I'm going to come in and erase my blob. Erasing blobbage. Okay. There we go. And you know, you go as much as you want. It's up to you. You know what I mean? And right when you think you got her good, we're going to put in a happy tree right over here. Okay? We're not quite there yet. Oh, it's looking great. I think you're doing good. Okay, we're back with our GM Blue. You know, something's got to make this car go down the road. I think I'm being a little aggressive on the flicking. I got to settle that down a little bit, I think. Adjusting. There we go. I think it's gentle at first. Then you can kind of get in there when it gets down on paint. There we go. Looks like mall carpet from the 80s. I like it. Kind of become colorblind here. So we're just kind of winging it. But we'll make her happen. Groovy. Well, about 11 minutes and 14 seconds later and 98 cents and spray paint out of 3 different cans. Here's what we got. I mean, I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. Gotta be honest. That's what I wanted originally. Now, I wasn't worried about in there because tires going in there, but we've got our retro trunk. There we go. Gotta let that dry. Well, it probably is a good time to call it quits for tonight. It's very late and the trunk's got to dry, wiper arm's got to dry. Tomorrow we can get it up in the air. I got to show you this drive shaft. It's a huge upgrade. And then we got to rip into the front end of this thing and pretty much tear all the way in it and fix the issue in the front and get this thing aligned. And then burnouts. Got to test it. All right, see you tomorrow. Well, good morning. Just checking on the trunk here. It's looking good, actually. It dried nice. I think we can go ahead and throw a spare in here and call this project done. Okay, so as far as the spare tire goes in here, I could just throw one of the steel wheels that we pulled off originally in here. That's kind of lame though. And these Kragers have a shank style lug nut and washer to hold the wheels on. So if we were to blow a tire, try to use a steel wheel, he'd have to carry around lug nuts. We're not doing any of that. I'm gonna set them up with another Krager with the Chupacabra. I measured, this should slip right in. Fingers crossed. And your toes. A little big. Oh, it went. There we go. That's a nice looking setup. And it'll match if you ever blows one. Trunk, done. Snap these blades on, then a guy can go up in the air. Well, I don't think I checked to make sure it was all the way down first. Gotta take it off again. Make sure the gear is at the end, then put it on. Yeah, so this time we'll run it all the way down, right there. Now take it off. There. That's more goodly. Let's see, about there. Ouch. Wasn't too impressed last night when we painted those, but looking today, they match up pretty good actually. Not bad. All right, we'll get this car up in the air and then the real work begins. I think we're gonna start by putting the drive pole in, well, because that's easier. And then we gotta completely tear apart this front end, see if we can get that figured out. So this feller here is the drive pole that was in it. This is for the slant 6. And we had to cut it to shorten it once we put that 8 3/4 rear end. And then Chad welded this up for me, but it's not balanced and we didn't have the right bearing retainer clips
on this U-joint. So that's why I didn't really want to thrash on it before, is this could have, you know, had an unscheduled rapid disassembly. We didn't want that, obviously. Now, I could have just replaced this section of the pole and just ran it into this unit here with a new U-joint, but looking at the thing and thinking about, you know, 72 horsepower slant sixes, I went ahead and just had a whole new one made, and this one is a lot beefier. If we look back here, we can see a big difference. If you look up here, massive difference. I mean, we want to make sure that this thing handles the horsepower, and then of course this has been balanced and everything like that. So we should be good to go. And I ran into town, grabbed the right straps and hardware. So if all goes well and I measured correctly, this should slip right in. We should be able to bolt it up. All right. Let's gently take this tape off. If you want to have a real bad day, drop one of these caps on the ground, watch the needles scatter. It's also a redneck eye test. Now you know. Okay, so now, get this somewhat lined up over our new exhaust. Something like that, hopefully. Come on. There, yes. Oh, perfect. All right. Just need a mallet on that side. Looks great. These straps should be the right size so they don't crush the bearing caps. That's the idea anyway. There we go. Feel the burn! And also, snap it to a slip joint. I don't know why. I guess we're going back to the 90s today. All right, so that part's done. Now we can move on to this mess. Got to get these strut rods out on both sides. See if we could straighten up. Well, I'll show you what the issue is here. Mopar life! For some reason, the wheels are never centered in the center of the wheel well on any Mopar I've ever owned in my life, front or back. And you can see this one is 17 feet back. Frame is not bent, subframe is not bent, the strut rod is tight, the bushings are there, we've been through it a million times. We've jacked it up and jack stand it, tape measured it, and squared it. This is just the way it is. And it's so far back that unfortunately, when we turned the tire, it bound up the fender. Well, then I went to a 14 thinking that was the issue because that's what was on it. And even with the 14, it's still binding into the fender. So I'm going to put adjustable strut rods in it, physically move the center of the hub forward, and hopefully that resolves the issue. I just threw my elbow out. It's back. Okay, let's get started. Chad, not the other Chad, is here to help. So what we're gonna do is bust these tires off first, just so we can get our teeth in here, well, in our eyes. And the strut rod, the bolt is at the back here. We might have to turn these. I'm not quite sure. I've never really done this process, to be honest. And get those rods out and then get the adjustables in. Now what's going to happen when we shorten this is it's going to pull the wheel, it's going to change the toe and the camber. It's going to kind of roll the wheel this way. So it's going to look goofy at first, but our biggest measurement is hub. We should run a tape now actually, right? Yeah. From center of hub or something, or edge of hub to some sort of reference point so we know where we're at. Then we'll tear into it. I'm going to say 15 inches.
on the money. Well, 15 and a horsehair.
15 and a 16th.
15 and 1/16 inch. Okay, here's your notepad. We'll go to the other side. I have a feeling this side is not as bad based on the fender damage. But we'll see what this side says. Is the bumper bent up?
It doesn't matter, it won't move.
Oh, that's true. 15 and a half. All day long. Yeah, so it's, I don't know, call it ½ inch back than the other side. So now, we know we need at least a ½ inch more forward, or I guess we'll pull this strut rod out and compare it to the other one, then we can figure out how those are adjustable. I should open that box, but let's tear into it way too far first. So let's get these tires off. Fixed. This car is going to need disc brakes, something fierce at some point. There. Now, yeah, there's the nut we need right there, that guy. So I think once we get the wheels off, if we turn each direction, we can get an impact on that pretty easy. So we've successfully snapped off 2 roll pins. There's one on this side and one on this side. You know, a set of cotter pins. We want roll pins in here. This side has a drill bit snapped off in it. This side has half a bolt or something. I can't remember. This side might be broken off enough where we can get the nut off at least. But Chad's brain is working, and he said, wait a minute, why don't we take a measurement now with the tire off, so we don't have to put the tire on just to measure again. So we're going to measure again from the bumper to the drum, and then commence busting these nuts loose. This side I've got to make a punch or something. I don't even have a punch set to get this out. This side is sticking out, and this nut's not going to want to walk off, so I got to figure that out yet. Remeasuring. Okay, we're going to the center of the hub instead of trying to figure out where to land here. This is 26 and a quarter. So the other side is 3/4 of an inch back than this side. That's what you want for straight driving performance. It's made the turn right. Okay, now, yeah, 26 and a quarter. And we'll run these nuts off, and then we think we can take that side off. Work these out. Snazzy. I gotta try to figure this one out quick. Alright, can't make this up. We found a punch, finally. Oh, you got it. We were able to punch the roll pin out, and then the punch snaps off in it. Well, we got one out successfully. But now I don't know if this is gonna really drive the other side out. No. Well, maybe that bolt will work?
Yeah.
Close enough. So the side with the snapped punch came out on this side, and the side with the snapped drill bit were fighting. However, the roll pin was only sticking out like 7 feet. So we think with torque multiplication and big wrenches, we might just be able to, what are we trying to do, melt it into the threads, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Bond it, yeah, that's what I figured. And that's where I'm at right now, is we're just trying to roll this pin into the nut. We thought about cutting it out a second ago, but the rad is right here, and I don't think we can fish it. I think we almost got it.
Yeah.
As long as I don't pull the car off the...
There's fight full way.
Oh, it's hot. It's really hot. What's it mean when your ears get hot?
Heart attack. Or
imminent stroke.
Yeah.
Oh, it just got easier. Actually, there we go. I think we got it. Boom! Oh, look at that. It's all chunked in there. That net ain't going back on. Sweet. Now the two on the back. I'll get something to stand on and turn the wheel one way or the other so we get the back side. Oh yeah. Looks like it definitely goes forward and then out based on that view. All right, should we get the other knot off first and then ruin our life trying to figure out how it comes out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're to the point of no return now. Great. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Are they under tension somehow?
Get these bushings.
The other side fell right out. The bushings look great. Well, on that side anyway. There's a back side of that bushing too. Do you think the box with the new ones might have instructions on how to do this? I'm not saying we're going to read instructions.
There's no way we can read instructions.
No, I'm just saying maybe, we could quickly glance at them or something. So we definitely didn't read these. We just kind of looked at pictures. And then we had a conversation, and we definitely know now that we need to remove the lower shock bolts, and then we need to take torsion off the torsion bars. There's a bolt in here that runs this bar in here against that torsion rod. That's got to come out because this is under a lot of tension right now. And then we can get these out and start the process backwards hinder. We're going to have to adjust not only ride height, spring rate, toe, and camber, everything to try to resolve this, but we're going to get there. So we're just going to go ahead and knock these bolts out super fast and knock these out, lower the nut, which will actually lower the car, I guess, but lower these off. And I'm not even worried about ride height so much. We could figure that out after we get it settled on the tires. I just want to get the hub centered first and foremost, then we'll worry about alignment and ride height and all that. That's simple. So we're gonna get after it. Well, we've got terrible worser news, but also hindsight being 12/14 great news. We got this side torsion bolt out or loosened. Okay, came over to this side, hit it with the impact, immediately whack the bolt off. But if you look at this closely, scoot in, get in here, lean, get your, there you go. It was barely hanging on. That silver mark is all that was left connected. So this was going to break anyway. So it's actually a blessing we found this. Now, the downside is we have this stuck in here. And we're gonna have to cut that out or torch it out or do something to get that out. But I've got an idea. So I've got an early 60s or mid 60s Dart sitting up in the yard, up by the trees. I want to bring that back around, and I did order a pair of the torsion bolt things, but they're not going to be here for a few days. So we're going to go out there with a light, try to crawl into this thing. We'll take a jack, jump in the side-by-side, go out to Rusty Acres, and see if they even look remotely close, and if they do, which they should be the same, I think, 64 to 73 or something like that. We'll go get the tractor or something and lift that car way up in the air, take one of those out, bring it back in here, cut this one out. Basically a simple process turned into a 3-hour surgery and a whole bunch of horsing around. Mopar, no car. We found it. Remember this guy? So now we got to get a jack under here. This tire is a little low on wind. I know it's hard to see in the dark, but
we got to get under here. And I'm feeling really good about this. They're both slant 6 cars. They're both small body. Maybe it'll work. Probably not.
No. It's not dragging the front of the jack off.
Not yet. Apparently I drove this with 2 lugs on the wheels. That's approved. Could have considered these for the Duster actually, but keep going till it feels really dangerous to get under. There you go. The other side's bouncing. That's pretty good. Now we'll get under here and check.
Oh my God.
I think they are identical, 1000%. You got the machine?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this old car. We got to bring this thing back probably, huh? What do you guys think? But yeah, if you guys want to see this old girl back, let me know. Oh. Might need tires. Please come out. That's feeling really tight. Did we bring any juice?
No.
Also, how do you... Yeah, I think we're gonna need some juice. We'll be back. We gotta run all the way back to the barn. So we got her with a little juice. Oh no. We're gonna need a block. I forgot about that. There's no ride height anymore because it doesn't have a torsion bar. So we gotta
Where's the...
block this up on something. So basically, this bolt, well, yeah, it's just like this. It's snapped off right about here. And this has channels in it that rides on the lower control arm, which prohibits us from pounding either direction. It's also still sprung and under tension. Tried sawzalling it and cutting it, doesn't even scratch it. So I'm gonna have to heat that, but the fear is distorting and warping the lower control arms, torsion bar, everything here. So I guess that's the next step. Anything on fire yet other than my beard?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just keep slamming. Out. Really good on the floor coating. Got it. Hey, we're not even close. Okay. Now, that should have done nothing. Molten lava. Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot. This side.
Can you hit it from this side?
I think.
That's hot.
That was easy. Okay. We'll probably let that cool down.
Oh yeah.
So now we got to separate the lower ball joint, which means we got to get that cotter pin out and that castle nut off. And I think the goal here is just to get this lower control arm completely separated, because it's got to be pulled back like this, kind of like a dolphin skipping in the water, you know. And then we could pull this out. This one's getting fairly wobbly, but the spindle is going to hold it all together unless we separate that lower ball joint. Hip! Yeah! There. Now kind of guy. Nope, probably not. Getting closer here. Had to use air to get this separated. And there ain't much room in here to operate on. All right, see what that does. All right. Okay. I don't really know what's supposed to happen here. Well, help me understand it. There. So, this lower control arm should be swinging, and it's not. Got the lower ball joints disconnected. Now we got these springy clip doodads out of the torsion bars. We're going to try to clean this out and then slide these torsion bars back, and that should free up the lower control arms so we can bend them to get the strut rods out. Okay, we think we got this figured out. We got this side out. Shock out of the way, lower ball joint disconnected, pry bar bending everything, with Chad throwing his back out, holding the strut rod against the forward bushing and pushing towards Texas. It somehow popped out. So now we just got to duplicate that again. Torsion bars are out. Used this giant channel lock and pried against steering components, and seem to have got that popped out. I got those juiced right now, so hopefully they go on easier. There you go. Okay, now is when we dangerously pry. You're about 5 feet away. Oh yeah, we got a ball jointus maximus. Okay, now this is Santa Barbara. Got about 1/8 of an inch. Oh my God. So I run both pry bars and put the cat's paw towards your artery in your neck. Now I'll try it.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's easy. There we go. So here's our strut rod. And where's the other one? As you can see, one is not longer than the other. These are non-adjustable. However, the passenger wheel is 3/4 of an inch back. Pretty sweet. We're going to fix that by putting in this guy, which I'll have to initially set a little bit longer, but this is an adjustable one by QA1, so we can actually lengthen or shorten this unit here. We'll probably go short to get it in easier.
Yeah.
And then stretch them out a little bit. We just need to measure from these two collars to get our starting point, and we'll just go ahead and walk 3/4 of an inch off on this side. I don't know. Now all this somehow has to go back together. Great. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Yep. Ah. Oh, that hurt. Now we're just adjusting it violently. Maybe this needs to be jammed so it doesn't spin. Okay, try that. A little bit more. There we go. Now that jam nut's never coming off of there. Well, we think we've got it wholly assembled. Man, am I glad Chad showed up. We didn't really plan on working on the duster, but it just worked in my favor. So we got everything really reassembled, we think. What we're gonna do now is throw the tires on, get weight on this, cycle the suspension, make sure the torsion bars or everything are settling in correctly, try to get our ride height rough, and then we're gonna lift it back up again and retake the measurements that we took previously, and then start adjusting it and get these hubs centered up, put the tires back on, and basically keep repeating this process until we get the ride height and the tires in the right position in the wheel wells, and then we've got to figure out how to align this thing at least good enough to go do burnouts. And then we could take it to a shop, I don't know, in a couple days or something. Plan? Good. Yep. Yep. Well, now we got it so low, I got to kneel. Well, we've been going back and forth on ride height. I stayed under there with the Ooga Dooga machine. Chad went back and forth with the tape measure. We were bouncing it and everything like that. It's kind of tough because this bumper is not true. So we went from lift to wheel well opening, and then I was using the pads on the air jack to the frame as a reference underneath. And between the 4 points, this is as perfect as we can get it for ride height. Maintained a little bit of a rake, but we're gonna have enough room. Look how much better this wheel already looks. It's actually centered. Haven't adjusted it yet. This one over here definitely needs to go forward, and I can already tell that because it's toe out, meaning the lower control arm is too far back. So this is about where it was when we started. So now we can raise the car up again and take our measurements from the hub to the bumper and adjust our strut arms. It's going to be really fun. Nope. I think we have success. This is now centered. We got our ride heights identical, and this was our problem wheel. Look at that. Equal spacing, dead centered. We cycled the suspension, we turned the wheel lock to lock, bounced on it. We ended up raising it another 1/4 inch just to make sure we had plenty of room. But it's not gonna bind here, it's not gonna bind here. Looks a lot better, and now it actually should handle a lot better as well. I got to thinking and looking at these QA1s, it takes away, well, I have it laying over here, these bushings right here. So with these bushings in place, as they get worn and get old, your lower control arm essentially is flexing around. And with the QA1, there is no bushings. So everything is nice and stiff and taut. So this is just gonna stay true the way it is. Now, we're gonna get a straight edge on here, and we're gonna run a tape measure across and get our toe in set. Camber is looking pretty good, actually. Actually really good. We just need to get, especially this one, because we made such an adjustment. You can see how the front of the tire is out. So we'll have to bring that in just a smidgen, and we could do that with an adjustment right there. And then I think we can finally go for a drive. That'd be nice. Okay, so we ran 2 tape measures, took a measurement. We're definitely toe out. I'm just gonna loosen these guys up here and lengthen this, which will drive the rear of the tire out and the front of the tire in. until we get just a tickle of toe in, and that's good enough to go down the road, and I could take it to a shop later if it drives funny. And we made sure to get the wheel straight first. So that's 1, 2 turns. I think we'll bounce it a couple times here, remeasure, and then we can know how far 2 turns gets us, and we'll just keep on measuring it here. Hey, I think we got it. Our redneck alignment here, we got her just a scooch toe in. Ride height didn't change, wheels are centered, look amazing. Feeling good about it. So now we're just gonna clean up some tools, wipe everything down, push a broom around for a minute, and we'll throw some gasoline in the bad boy. Let's go for a run. We've got new beefy drive shaft, new hardware on that. We fixed the steering, we got the trunk dolled up, we got a spare in this thing. Put a few more miles on this, and we're ready to turn the keys over to Charles, and he can boil the tires off of it.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Yeah, I think the alignment's good then, huh?
Yeah. Kept pretty straight the whole way.
Man, this thing does radical burnouts. We better do one more to make sure the cotter pins are seated for sure, you know. Charles, I don't want to beat on your car anymore. I think that's going to do it. We've accomplished our goal. It looks better outside, it looks better inside, it runs awesome, it goes down the road great. I am going to take it to the alignment shop to make sure it's perfect. And then we'll be meeting up with Charles later on and tossing him the keys. Thanks guys for watching. Appreciate you very much. We'll see you later.